Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. I was watching Book Zealots and they were doing a really fun sounding tag called Counting the Days tag. It was a tag created by To Readers It May Concern, who I'm subscribed to them, but I'm not quite sure if I've watched their videos yet. Or if I have, it's been a while. And the other one who was involved in creating this tag was Prose and Petticoats, and I've watched a couple of her videos, found her because of this tag, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, my first exposure to this tag though was the video by Book Zealots. Did not oversteep my tea this time. Anyway, so I think I might have already stated that this is the Counting the Days tag, and it has 8 prompts plus the 9th one, which is tag people. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The prompts, the main question, what is a book that excites you because of its ... So, what is a book that excites you because of its cover? So I ended up... Oh, good, I did remember to bring it up. For a second, I thought I forgot. I ended up bringing out this one. Now, I actually had trouble picking one because there are several books whose covers seem to be really exciting to me, but I tried to choose a book that I have not yet read. So I ended up going with this book by Roger S. Week, William N. Vocal. Sorry, they have text rich in yellow against like this sandy background, which makes it really hard to read. And K. Michelle Hearn. And the book is The Hours of Henry VIII, a Renaissance masterpiece by Jean Poyet. And I found this book when I was looking for a different one. Or no, I think I was looking for a different one that was mentioned in Roger Week's his book, his other book that was something about praying. Praying through images or something. I'm saying it wrong, but I was hoping that maybe somewhere it would bail me out, but I can't remember what his other book is that I've read. But anyway, his other book, which dealing with praying through different pictures. Oh, darn! I have to look it up because it's driving me insane. Because I literally just finished the book last quarter. Let's see. It was called, read recently, Painted Prayers. So, in his book Painted Prayers, he had mentioned either this book directly or he had mentioned someone else, and I had looked up that particular artist's work, and this got suggested to me. So I just like the cover as well. It's very dynamic, makes me look forward to reading it, and it looks like it goes through all the different pages just for Henry VIII's our particular book of hours that was by Jean Poyet. So that'll be cool. A little bit more of a focused look on one specific book of hours instead of several. Then the next prompt is, what is a book that excites you because of its author? And I ended up going with Eamon Duffy's The Stripping of the Altars. I'm currently reading his book, Marking the Hours, which is the praying of the hours by the English people, now I kind of mangled that title, but it is called Marking the Hours. And I've really enjoyed that book by Eamon Duffy. I actually have picked up most, if not all, of his books because of that book. And this is one of the ones that I picked up because of it. He is covering the heading into the Reformation. But what I like about it, besides the fact that I picked it for the author, is prize-winning account of the pre-Reformation church, Eamon Duffy recreates lay people's experience of religion. He reveals that late medieval Catholicism was neither decadent nor decayed, but strong and vigorous. Brilliantly examining a wide array of sources, he shows that the Reformation was a violent rupture from a deeply popular and theologically respectable religious tradition. 30 years on from the original, this edition includes a substantial new preface reflecting recent developments in our understanding of the period. But yeah, this has been something that has interested me in Eamon Duffy's work. Initially I appreciated some of his points of view that he had in Marking the Hours. But as I researched his work more, I became intrigued by his providing another point of view, the more the point of view that's not from the more Anglican point of view, but a point of view that would have been from the broader population of what it was like to experience the Reformation. So what would have been a Catholic point of view, because that's what people were in England at that time before the rupture. So it's a point of view that I've not seen addressed in books before. Usually when I see the dissolution of the monastery, not the dissolution of the monastery specifically, but when I usually see the Reformation mentioned, it tends to be from more of the Anglican point of view, or someone who might be more focused on being particularly pro that big change within the Church of England. Well, became the Church of England. So yeah, I did pick up this book specifically because of the author, because I have been interested in the way that the author addresses topics and the topics which he chooses. The next book, what is a book that excites you because of its premise? Now, I don't have the physical form of this book. This is a book that I will be reading on Kindle. It's one that I mentioned in the tag that I thought was the coffee break tag, was actually called I have the corrected title in my YouTube videos. It's called the winning title tag. So in that tag, I had mentioned this book as well. So the book that excites me because the premise is Gangsters versus Nazis by Michael Benson. And that just seems like it's a really interesting book to explore, and the premise is just really kind of cool. So what is a book that excites you because of its style? Now, I'm not sure exactly what is intended by style, so I ended up going with What It's Like to Be a Bird, From Flying, Nesting, Eating to Singing, What Birds Are Doing and Why by David Allen Sibley. And I snagged this because I just really enjoy the way that it's set up. When I picked this up, I was telling my mom, who she homeschooled my sister and I was telling her, man, I could have seen this as something that she would have used as somewhat of a summer program for us, to keep us from going too, not stale, but keep our minds active during the summer. Not a full program, but, a little bit of something educational going on. And this is a book that I could have seen her letting us go through, and maybe then going out and either drawing or trying to spot birds, or making some sort of field trip out of it, because she was like the queen of making everything into a field trip. I think that if she could have made going grocery shopping a field trip, she would have. But, I mean, it worked out to our advantage. We lived in England for a while. My dad was in the Air Force, so we had a lot of field trip opportunities. But anyway, this is the kind of book that I could have seen her using, and I think that is part of what attracts me to its style. Not to mention, I really enjoy the fact that this is made up of drawn pictures versus photographs, which I really enjoy. And there's just a bunch of fun facts in here. It's very engaging visually. So, yes, that is my choice for this particular prompt. Then the next one is what is a book that excites you because of its influence? And this is another book that I have not read. Actually, I think all of these might be books that I have not read. And it's Harriet Beecher Stowe, Uncle Tom's Cabin. And what I always remember about this is the story that when Abraham Lincoln met Harriet Beecher Stowe, is that he said something effective, "Oh, so you are the little lady who is the reason for this big war." Now, whether or not that is actually a meeting and a quote that occurred, I don't know, but that is a story that I've heard. And if her writing truly had that powerful of an influence on the way people thought about things, then yeah, this would have been a very influential work. It's not a book I've read. Both my dad and my mom have read it and said that they found this to be a very powerful work. So I actually have a really nice copy of it. It's in really good shape. So I look forward to reading it at some point. I actually need to get this thrift books. There we go. Oh, good. That came off easier than I expected it would, without ruining my book. So yes, I do need to just sit down and read this at some point. But I wanted to make sure that I picked it up in physical form. It's just one of those books that you need to be like one of those however many important books you read before you die. This is one of those ones that are those must reads. Next prompt, what is a book that excites you because of its emotional weight? Now this one's another Kindle book, and this is one that I think I had first, I actually don't think I saw the movie version. I think I saw a documentary on it. And I thought that the emotional weight behind just the documentary was very powerful. And so I ended up finding out that it was a movie and that also it was a book. So I picked up the book on Kindle, and it's called Argo, How the CIA and Hollywood Pulled Off the Most Audacious Rescue in History by Antonio Mendez and Matt Baglio. And to me, that just the tension. And they had interviews in the one documentary that I saw with a couple of the people who were involved, who were the people being rescued, and they were talking about the tension and how terrifying this experience was. And that's the emotional weight that I was thinking of when I picked this book for this particular prompt. The next prompt is, what is a book that excites you because of its sense of humor? And I ended up going with, I don't read a whole ton of funny books, per se. I've got, my sense of humor runs more in the way of, clever ways of wording things. That's usually why, or clever, mocking kind of commentary. There's a reason why Jane Austen's humor works so well for me. But I ended up going with David Crystal's That's the Ticket for Soup. And I mentioned this also in the last tag that I did, the winning titles tag. And this is a book that covers Victorian views on vocabulary as told in the pages of Punch. And Punch is, I'm not actually sure if Punch is still around, but Punch at least was very irreverent. It was known for its mocking drawings of first the regents, so Prince George, who then later became King George during the Regency/Georgian era. And so they were known for just their mocking humor. So it amuses me. I love the history of words and stuff anyway, but then you add on to it the aspect of Punch. So then you also have that humorous aspect, even though I know it's going to be British humor, which can be very odd. So this should be interesting. It's not a very big book either. Then the final one in these prompts is, what is a book that excites you because of its challenge or difficulty? And the one I ended up going with was Lives of St. Thomas More, which is by his son-in-law, William Roper, and then they have Nicholas Harpsfield. So I'm not sure who Nicholas Harpsfield was in, like, how he was involved, because it says here William Roper, born in 1495. In 1521, he married More's daughter Margaret, who was, John Guy wrote what looks to be a really good book. It's called Daughter's Love, and it's about the relationship between Thomas More and his daughter Margaret, who were very close. And so this was Margaret's husband who wrote this. He was MP for Bramber in 1529, Rochester in 1554, Canterbury in 1555, and 1558, died in 1578. Now, it doesn't really tell who Nicholas Harpsfield is in relation to, I'm not sure if this is just someone who helped him in putting together the writing, because I believe William More was a lawyer like Thomas More was. I mean, William Roper was a lawyer like Thomas More was, I believe. I actually don't know a ton about William Roper, other than the fact that he was married to Margaret. So Nicholas Harpsfield, born in 1519, educated in Winchester New College or Oxford, Archdeacon of Canterbury, 1554, imprisoned in the Fleet from 1559 until his death in 1575. So I'm not sure, like I said, if he maybe helped William Roper put this into a more readable format. I don't know. Now, what is making this a challenging or difficult read is the way that the sentences are put together. Is some of the way the wording is very old-fashioned in spelling, so it's going to be a bit challenging to read. For example, on page 10, second paragraph down, "Masters," quoth Sir Thomas More, "for as much as my Lord Cardinal lately, you wot," W-O-T, and then it has a little footnote, "no, well, laid to our charge the lightness of our tongues for things uttered out of this house, it shall not in my mind be amiss with all his pomp to receive him, with his maces, his pillars, his poiaxes, his crosses, his hat, and great seal too, to the intent if he find the like fault with us hereafter, we may be the bolder from ourselves to lay the blame on those that his grace bringeth hither with him. Whereunto the house wholly agreeing, he was received accordingly." So that's just an example. So it's a very, in spite of the fact that they probably tried somewhat to make this a little bit more readable for the modern audience, a lot of William Roper's original language and spelling seems to have been kept here. So that alone will make that a challenging read, even though it's one that I really do want to read, because this is someone who actually knew Thomas More. And you can't get too much better than that in the way of a biographer. So yeah, those are my choices for the prompts for the Counting the Days tag. I will tag people down in the description below. And yeah, thank you very much to both, I think it's Ariane and, gosh, I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Oh, her son. Darn it, I'm going to kick myself too because I know your name. Your handle. From Book Zealots. Blast. It's like right there in the back of my head. I am so sorry for not remembering your name. But it's such an... I usually only remember his name and I don't remember her name, but now it's flipped. Anyway. Thank you very much to Book Zealots for using this tag on one of your videos so that I could find the tag, and also for introducing me to Prose and Petticoats and reminding me of the existence of two readers it may concern, both of whom were involved in the creation of this tag. I will have all the prompts below in the description, also with the tags of those who created this tag. Or the links to the people who created this tag. Anyway, so yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you for the next video. God bless. Bye.